Welcome to Srimati LP Savani Vidya Bhavan, Social Science Standard 10th. Chapter number 17, Economic Problems and Challenges, Poverty and Unemployment. Students, in this chapter, we are going to see some economic problems and challenges which are being faced by India. Indian economy experiences many serious and complex economic and social problems such as population growth, price rise, black money, poverty, unemployment, starvation, corruption, terrorism, etc. Among these economic problems like poverty and unemployment, price rise, population increase are major problems. So here we are going to study about poverty and unemployment. So what is poverty? A large number of people are deprived of satisfying their basic and essential requirements of life such as food, clothes, shelter, education and health services. This kind of people living in this kind of situation are called poor people, and this particular situation is called as comprehensive poverty. Therefore, poverty is a qualitative concept. Common features of people living below poverty line are as follows. First is these people are not able to get 2 meals a day. People suffer from problem of unavailability of dwelling place, means they do not have the place to live. They are forced to live in dirty slum areas. Their income is less than determined expected income. The lifespan of these kind of people is less than national average life expected. Generally, they are illiterate. They very often suffer from various diseases due to lack of nutrition. The children of poor people have to go for work at the age of going to the school. Death rate is high because of malnutrition. So these are the features of. The government makes efforts to improve the living standard of the people living below poverty line. Income of the people living below poverty line is very less in cities as well as in villages. Such families are being called as Antyodaya families or families living below poverty line. So what are Antyodaya families? The families which are living below poverty line who are not able to satisfy any of their needs, they are called as Antyodaya families. After finding out such families, the government has started public distribution system on the basis of ration card. Public distribution system is a system which we are aware about, that a ration card needs to be issued, and on the basis of that every month necessary things like for wheat, rice, sugar are being distributed at a very low cost to the poor people. So these are called as the fair price shops. Every month they fulfill the requirements like rice, wheat, sugar, oil, salt, kerosene, etc. for these kind of families. Okay. So the first concept of poverty was propounded by the director of WHO. For calculating poverty line, certain factors are considered, which includes expenditure on food, clothing, accommodation, education, health, clean drinking water, electricity, sanitation facilities, transportation facilities, and income as well as intake of calories. These all the things are being considered while calculating the poverty, right? That how much they are able to spend after their food and clothing and all the basic kind of requirements. Therefore, we need to understand how poverty is being calculated. Okay. So poverty is being calculated by considering certain factors like expenditure of food, clothing, accommodation, education, health, and these kind of factors, that how much a person is able to spend after himself or his family. On the basis of these, the standard of living is fixed, which is known as poverty line. Next is measurement of poverty. There are two ways of knowing the number of people living below poverty line. That is on the basis of expenditure behind various commodities or services by a family, and the second is on the basis of total income of the family. This means how much that a particular family is spending after their basic requirements. That is the one way of measuring poverty. The other way is what is the income of the family. Here next we are going to see absolute poverty and relative poverty. Absolute poverty is a situation among those people of the society who are not able to purchase the basic necessities of life like food grains, pulses, milk, vegetables at lowest market rate. These people are said to be absolute poor. We know that the PDS, under the PDS system, that is under the fair price shops, very low, at a very low rate the grains are made available to the poor people, but these people are not able to afford that also. So these kind of people living in that situation are called as absolute poor. Relative poor, a society has different income groups. Among them, some groups have low income and some have higher income, right? So there is, if comparison is done, we can find that one group is earning good amount, the other group is earning a little lower than the first one, and the third group may be relatively poor than the first group. Okay, for example, if group A is earning 10,000 rupees, group B 20,000 and group C 30,000. These are the income groups of three different group of people. As the income of A is less than B, the person A is considered to be poor. In the same way, income of A and B is less than C, then they are considered to be poorer than C. Okay, so this is called as relative poverty. Poverty in India. In 2011 and 12, Planning Commission of India declared per capita expenditure for rural areas as rupees 816, which means rupees 4080 per family expenditure. This means that the minimum per capita income of a people living in rural areas should be minimum 816 rupees per person, and for a family, when we say family, it includes 5 members in a family, that should be 4,880 rupees in the rural areas, whereas in the urban areas the per capita expenditure was fixed at the rate of rupees 1,000 per person at least. Accordingly, and according to this, the family expenditure was declared to be at least rupees 5,000. Okay, so this is in the city areas. The minimum per capita income is 1,000 rupees, and so the minimum income of the family needs to be rupees 5,000. On the basis of new criterias, number of poor has reduced to 27 crore in 2011-2012, and the rate of poverty has reduced to 21.9% in the ratio of total population. In 2009 and 10, ratio of poverty in relation to population was 29.8%. Thus, approximately 35.47 crore people were living in poverty. 121 crore in 2010, out of which 32.7 people were living below poverty line. This makes about 45.6 crores. Therefore, as per the report of UNDP, that is the United Nations Development Program 2015, the ratio of poverty in India in 2011-12 was 21.92% of the total population. As per this, if we see, Chhattisgarh has 36.93% of poverty, which shows that it is the poorest state of India, while Goa with 5.9% has the lowest poverty rate. In Gujarat, the proportion of poverty is 16.63%. Chhattisgarh, Assam, Uttar Pradesh, Manipur, Bihar, Arunachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, Orissa, etc. have more than 30% proportion of poverty in India. Now we shall understand the terms like rural poor and urban poor. Rural poor are those people generally landless laborers, farm laborers, artisans of cottage industries or small scale industries, marginal farmers, beggars, forced laborers, inhabitants of forest or mountainous regions, tribals, temporary craftsmen, etc. These kind of people are considered as rural poor. Means the poor people in the village areas. Second is B, urban poor. Temporary laborers, laborers on daily wages, domestic workers, rickshawalas, workers in tea stalls or hotels or dhabas, workers working in garages, beggars, or who are not able to satisfy their minimum and basic requirements and are living in a poverty are considered to be urban poor. Reasons of poverty. The origin of poverty is more deep rooted in villages as compared to urban areas. The following are the reasons for poverty. Decrease in income from agriculture sector because of insufficient development in the field of agriculture and insufficient irrigation facilities. Next, lack of alternative employment apart from farming. People who are engaged in farming do not have any other alternative or do not go for any other alternative employment. Next, lack of knowledge regarding other employment, education, skill or training in the rural area. This means people do not have the knowledge or are not having proper other skills or training which can be useful for them for getting any other kind of employment. There is increase in debt as a result of excessive expenditure because of the caste system and orthodoxy. Right? The people are already in a poor condition and they increase their debts by following all the orthodox kind of caste system and everything. For example, there is a tradition to spend certain amount or give during the marriages. So if they are not affordable, they should not do it. Lack of illiteracy is seen, and due to illiteracy the poor become victim of exploitation. There is lack of information also. Due to ignoring necessities and economic welfare of the poorest section of the society during the formation of economic policies, we can see that poverty has not reduced. Production of cash crops is encouraged while the production of edible crops is reduced. Next, because of execution of economic reforms, rural economy collapsed and the cottage and small scale industries broke down. And because of this, the people of the villages had to migrate, and this increased the migration and the income in agriculture sector decreased. Poor people becoming victims of malnutrition and other disease. Due to change in technology, traditional business deteriorated and unemployment increased. There was an increase in population growth, death rate decreased, average lifespan increased. Supply of labor increased in comparison to demand of labor. Strategy for poverty eradication. The vicious circle of poverty increases its grip, and the reasons for it has been understood. So on the basis of this, it has become easy for us to understand which type of strategy should be adopted to remove poverty. Till now, 11th 5-year plan has been completed. Until then, neglection of rural areas in strategy of development of Indian economy and work plan is found mainly responsible for poverty. It can be said that there is a golden period going on in the urban areas, but for the village areas it is not the same. Villages are the heart of Indian economy. Actual economic development, social development and cultural development of India is possible by developing villages only. Thus, we should concentrate more on developing villages. Thus, through the program Gramoday se Bharatoday, present government has implemented the basic idea of uplifting of the country, which has been possible by the upliftment of villages. For this, stress has been laid on improvement of basic needs of life, development of agriculture sector and cottage, small scale industries, etc. If opportunities for employment will be created, a flow of income will increase and the poverty will also decrease. With these intentions, we will understand the first strategy towards poverty eradication. The first is, after independence, government has given a thrust to the development of large scale, heavy and key industries along with the slogan Garibi Hatao. With this, they are trying to reduce the poverty. Yes, continuing with the strategy of poverty eradication. After the independence, government has given a thirst to development of large scale industries, heavy and key industries with the slogan Garibi Hatao. For their development, encouragement has been given to the development in cities. On the other hand, with the objective of Green Revolution, land reform acts have been implemented so that the development may be there in the agricultural sector also. Means government has started with the changes or reforms in both the rural and urban areas. As a result of which, production will increase, employment opportunities will be created, and employment will be increased in the poverty level. And employment will increase and the poverty level can be reduced. Benefits. It was believed that as a result of this development of industries, benefits will be achieved by owners of the industries. Okay, but income of rich farmers or landlords, which will be distributed among poor people, and thus it will decrease in the poverty. But this strategy proved to be optimistic bubbler. Means the idea behind this strategy is that once the income of the people increases, especially the landlords and the rich farmers, then that income can be distributed among the poor. By this we can reduce poverty, but actually this strategy did not work. It was an optimistic bubbler. But distribution of income was why? Because distribution of income was inequitable and unequal. As a result of this, income and wealth was concentrated in the hands of the rich people only. Thus, no improvement was seen in the condition of the poor people, and because of this, as a result, improper distribution of income was seen. The rich became richer and the poor remained where they were. Second strategy of poverty eradication. In order to remove the disparity of income, government framed such type of taxation policy that the poor may get commodities essential for life, and therefore the production of these important commodities increased. And for this purpose, heavy taxes was levied on luxurious goods used by rich people. The articles and services of luxurious items, luxury also became costly, and the other sources of enjoyment. For this strategy was made to provide essential commodities to the poor people from fair price shop under public distribution system. By doing so, it has tried to improve the living standard of the people. The fair price shop and the public distribution system is the system under which the government distributes food grains to the poor people at a very low cost through the fair price shops, right? And this work has been started by the government with an intention to improve the living standard of the poor people. Strategy number 3. Understanding the need to improve agriculture sector, government implemented many programs like Land Ceiling Act, Regulatory of Tenancy Act, Security of Cultivating Rights, etc. By bringing this kind of rules and regulations in the reference related to the agricultural land, the government has tried to improve the agriculture sector. Strategy 4. The government has announced the policies to encourage agriculture related industries such as cattle rearing, dairy industry, pisciculture and afforestation. Continuing with the 4th point, government announced the policies to encourage agriculture by encouraging the activities like cattle rearing, dairy industry, pisciculture, afforestation. The government helps in order to develop small irrigation schemes, household industries, cottage industries, small scale industries, etc. In order to make people self-reliant, the government has stressed on labor-intensive industries. Means the government encourages to have more labor-intensive industries so that the employment can be provided to more number of people. For this purpose, objective-based education, training and skill development programs have also been started. The government has implemented programs of self-employment as a part of strategy to improve this condition. And for this purpose, new fields of employment have also been opened so that the income of the people increases. Strategy number 5, government has improved the structure of education, health, residence, employment, family planning, communication, etc. These all things have been worked on by the government. It has improved the irrigation facilities, roads, crops, protection skills, etc. so that the youth does not migrate towards the cities, which causes the burden of population in cities. Why these things are being developed in the village areas? Because the people do not have to migrate, they stay there along with their agriculture, they can continue with the other kind of work, and there is no need for the villagers to migrate to the cities. The government has started schools at the villages, and secondary and higher secondary schools have been opened at a close distance so that the students do not opt out from education. By starting colleges at a close distance, facility has been created to provide technical and vocational courses and training centers. In order to take care those students who complete their higher studies, they are encouraged by giving them motivation in the form of economic help like scholarship, facility of fee reduction, residential schools. These kind of facilities are given to the poor students also so that they don't leave their studies. Girls' education has been encouraged and many programs for women empowerment have also been started by the government.